Today we're reading from As Bill Sees It, Dependence Upon People, and Michael's going to read page 63.
Okay. Free of dependence, page 63. I asked myself, why can't the 12 steps work to release me from this unbearable depression? By the hour, I stared at the St. Francis prayer. It is better to comfort than to be comforted. Suddenly I realized what the answer might be. My basic flaw had always been dependence on people or circumstances to supply me with the prestige, security, and confidence. Failing to get these things according to my perfectionist dreams and specifications, I fought for them. And when defeat came, so did my depression. Reinforced by what grace I could find in prayer, I had to exert every ounce of will and action to cut off these faulty emotional dependencies upon people and upon circumstances. Then only could I be free to love as Francis had loved.
Okay, our next reading is on 72. Dependence, unhealthy or healthy. Nothing can be more demoralizing than a clinging and abject dependence upon another human being. This often amounts to the demand for a degree of protection and love that no one could possibly satisfy. So our hope for protectors finally flee, and once more we are left alone, either to grow up or to disintegrate. We discover that the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. We found that dependence upon His perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that would work where nothing else would. If we really depend upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge to rely wholly upon human protection and care. 176.
176, okay. Okay, page Domination and Demand, page 176. The primary fact that we fail to recognize is our total inability to form a true partnership with another human being. Our egomania digs two disastrous pitfalls. Either we insist upon dominating the people we know, or we depend upon them far too much. If we lean too heavily on people, they will sooner or later fail us, for they are human too, and cannot possibly meet our incessant demands. In this way, our insecurity grows and festers. When we habitually try to manipulate others to our own willful desires, they revolt and resist us heavily. Then we develop hurt feelings, a sense of persecution, and a desire to retaliate. My dependency meant demand, a demand for the possession and control of the people and the conditions surrounding me.
Okay. 239. When and how to give. Men who cry for money and shelter as a condition of their sobriety are on the wrong track. Yet we sometimes do provide a new prospect with these very things when it becomes clear that he is willing to place his recovery first. It is not whether we shall give that is the question, but when and how to give. Whenever we put our work on a material plane, the alcoholic commences to rely upon alms rather than upon a higher power and the AA group. Excuse me. He continues to insist that he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth, that job or no job, wife or no wife, we simply do not stop drinking as long as we place material dependence upon other people ahead of dependence on God. Okay, 239252.
252. 252. Okay. There we go. Alone No More, page 252. Alcoholism was a lonely business, even though we were surrounded by people who loved us. But when our self-will had driven everybody away and our isolation became complete, we commenced to play the big shot in cheap barrooms. Failing even this, we had to fare forth alone on the street to depend upon the charity of passers-by. We were trying to find emotional security either by dominating or by being dependent upon others. Even when our fortunes had not totally ebbed, we nevertheless found ourselves alone in the world. We still vainly tried to be secure by some unhealthy sort of domination or dependence. For those of us who are like that, AA has a very special meaning. In this fellowship, we begin to learn right relations with people who understand us. We don't have to be alone anymore.
Okay. 265. Neither dependence nor self-sufficiency. When we insisted like infants that people protect and take care of us, or that the world owed us a living, then the result was unfortunate. The people we most loved often pushed us aside or perhaps deserted us entirely. Our disillusionment was hard to bear. We failed to see that though adult in years, we were still behaving childishly, trying to turn everybody, friends, wives, husbands, even the world itself, into protective parents. We refused to learn that overdependence upon people is unsuccessful because all people are fallible, and even the best of them will sometimes let us down, especially when our demands for attention become unreasonable. We are now on a different basis, the basis of trusting and relying upon God. We trust infinite God rather than our finite selves. Just to the extent we do as we think He would have us do and humbly rely upon Him, does He enable us to match calamity with serenity. And then our last reading, 288.
288? I kept thinking it was in 300s. If you say 288, then that's what it is. Okay. Emotional sobriety, page 288. If we examine every disturbance we have, great or small, we will find at the root of it some unhealthy dependency and its consequent unhealthy demand. Let us, with God's help, continually surrender these hobbling liabilities. Then we can be set free to live and love. We may then be able to 12-step ourselves, as well as others, into emotional sobriety.